Guess who's back?
You're now listening to Unapologetic, the podcast, with your two hosts, Dre and Reg, discussing any and everything unfiltered.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unapologetic, the podcast. Got your two hosts, Dre and Reg. We have two lovely young women with us today. We have CeeCee from Come and Talk to Me, the podcast, right?
Yes. Come and Talk to Me podcast.
She's had me as a guest on twice, and actually me and Dre was on last week, and this last episode, actually, I liked it. I listened to it actually while I was working out earlier. That version of Come and Talk to Me you got playing, is that a revised?
That is an original cover by a guy here who is an up-and-coming R&B singer here in Cleveland.
Okay.
His name is B. Landrum. So I did a cover. You know I could, come on now, you know the rules. You know the rules just like I do. I couldn't.
So far as in the, as you know, Spotify and Apple, I don't know how the music part of it plays, whether you can play copyrighted music or not. I know on YouTube, they will either block it or put, or block in a certain area. So I was listening to it, I was like, I ain't heard this version before. I was like, I need to go find this.
He sounds good. But no, it's a cover. It's just a guy, an amateur, singing it. That's what it is. So that's how I got away with that. I got around that.
Okay. And we have her sister, Bree. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you guys?
No, I'm good. I got me a drink. Back podcasting on Wednesday. You know, I'm feeling good. I'm in a good space.
Yeah,
I'm happy to have you two ladies on to talk to us this week. It's kind of follow up from our episode last week that we had. It was just guy talk, so we want to have ladies on. Yep.
We enjoyed you guys last week. That was a very good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was more than just a recording for a show. It was a good conversation.
Okay. But
I was happy when you asked about us coming on this week. I'm like, oh, I'm about to be famous. Let me watch out. This is my podcast. I'm famous.
All right, but before I get into Dre and ask him how you doing, C, let me get you to plug your podcast, your whole network, your social medias, all that good stuff.
Yes, well, thank you for that. So I am the host of the Come and Talk to Me podcast, which airs every Saturday morning. And my podcast just basically covers anything dealing with society, relationships. I always say that I cater to the 40 and over audience, but really, since this thing has started, everybody has jumped on board. And I'm loving it. But it's the Come and Talk to Me podcast. It's available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you can find Dre and Reg, you can find me too. And my handle on Instagram is ComeandtalktoCeeCee. Mm-hmm. And that's no underscores, no spaces, anything. Come and Talk to CeeCee on Instagram.
CeeCee, spell it out for us.
CeeCee.
Okay. Because you can't have the two C's. Anchor. We're not on Anchor.
You're not on Anchor.
And we're not on Google. We gotta it's work we have to do. We still building, but
I think you're probably not on Anchor because you're on YouTube. Like I think it's either or. Like you
really?
I think. You know I'm younger in this than you are. So,
all right, no, I don't know. But we'll figure out. We're gonna expand. Dre.
Hey dog.
My God, talk to me.
Man, what's up with it, man?
No, man, it feel like we ain't talked to each other in forever.
I know, man. Wild and crazy weekend, man, in Atlanta, man, messing around with my homeboys from back at the crib, man. We all got together, like 11 of us got together, man. It was nuts, man. Mm-hmm. It was nuts. I'm still recovering and feel like I'm mad at them boys. I don't even want to talk to them because they let me get out of hand with all that drinking and all that stuff.
That's the good weekend when you still recovering halfway through the next week.
Man,
that's a good weekend.
Look, let me not think this is not in any way, shape, or form any type of alcohol. I promise you that.
But hey, the weekend it probably showed you that you ain't 22-year-old Dre no more.
Man, hey, look, it showed me quick, fast, in a hurry, man. The bounce back that I used to have is over with. It's over with.
Hey, party with that young guy.
Other than that, man, I'm straight, man. Midweek, dog. 2 more days before the weekend hit, man. And I don't got no plans this weekend. Just cooling out right now. Working, doing what I do at the job, man. What about you? What's going on?
Well, as you know, I'm still out here in Alabama. Got another week and a half till I get back to Georgia. I can't wait. I don't like this hotel life, y'all.
You ready to get back to disguster?
I do not like this hotel life. This is, I don't know. This ain't it.
Ain't it?
Nah. And I'm the type of person that once, when I leave and go somewhere, 4 or 5 days in, I'm ready to come back home anyway. I'm ready to get back to my bed. I miss everything. And just, I don't know, food wise is terrible because I've been, I hate, well, I'm not gonna say I hate eating out. I feel like I'm just spending too much money eating out. So I went and bought a damn Foreman grill the other day. Made me some chicken breast. I woke up and this is like an extended stay. So, the kitchen's over here, the bed's over here, bathrooms in there. But I woke up and the whole room smelled like chicken breast and shit, even though I had candles burned. So I'm like, damn, how can I get this fucking smell out of here? Like, it's, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just aggravated and irritated all the way around it. It's spilling over in to different aspects of everything that's going on. Other than that, I'm good though. I'm great. But Bree, this is what I did forget. You got anything you want to plug?
I don't. I
Not
just
even your social media. You don't want people to, no new followers, nothing.
I'm cool. I don't do social media for the number of followers. I just really just connect with family and friends. So, but I do want to back my sister in saying, yes, the Come and Talk to Me podcast. Listen to that, please. Especially last week's episode. If you would like a good introduction to our thoughts and our personalities, that's a very good episode to listen to.
Yes, do it. And I'm not just saying that because the Unapologetic Boys was on.
Because you're on there.
I enjoyed it, man. I really did. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did too.
I've gotten a lot of good feedback from it too.
That's great. That's great. I like that. That's good. But so I want to start this episode off with asking y'all this question, because this is a question me and Dre have been asking for about 3 or 4 weeks, and we haven't really got an answer. Why is submission earned, but chivalry and being a provider is expected?
That's a good
when I heard that on the last episode, I was like, oh, that's a good one. And I immediately started answering the question in my mind as I was listening to it. I don't necessarily think, well, I won't say I don't think it's expected, because in society overall it is. But for me and my experiences, for one, I think submission is something that comes a little further along than chivalry. Chivalry is more so manners. Like that's something you introduce to somebody when you first meet them, in my opinion, to a certain extent. Submission is something I think it's considered to be earned, because you don't necessarily feel like you need to submit to someone until you're committed to them.
Okay.
And at that point, if you're not seeing the chivalry and the other things that you look for, then you probably won't be submissive. But for me personally, I also feel like if I see those things in you right away, you're going to immediately know or understand where I'm coming from and how I would behave in a relationship in order to give you a glimpse of like what submission could look like. But I think overall it's just that you need to see a little something first before you feel that dedicated. So
do you think your dad had earned submission from your mom?
Yeah.
Really?
Let me start by saying
I think women was some more submissive from jump.
They met each other when they were 10. And they have been together. They grew up together, and they literally have been together probably since they were allowed to have a relationship. So I think that it probably, back then, relationships started way faster than they do now. So at the point that there was chivalry, there was probably also submission, because it was kind of just known like, you're who I'm with and this is just what we're going to do. There is no talking stage, and you're not going to maybe ghost me for 2 months, waste time, then come back and start over. So I think that all plays a part of it too.
And you said y'all said 48 years, right?
48 years. In February, it was 48 years. Yes.
Jesus. So that's 1970, maybe?
73.
73? Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, that is crazy. Shout out to y'all parents.
Crazy.
Yes.
Like, y'all might low-key be crazy for that one.
Right. And listen, my father always says when he met my mother, she was cleaning up the house because he was my uncle's best friend. And so he came over there with him, and it's 10 of them. So he met her, she was cleaning up the house. She was a little young 10-year-old girl. He was almost 12. Daddy was almost 12, right? Yeah. And so I don't know that I never even thought about it like this, but he saw her already in that role of being
submissive role. Yeah.
Submissive. Yeah. I mean, just that is somewhat of a connection. And I never thought about that until you just asked this question. But I do want to answer the question for myself. You said, why is submission must be earned, but chivalry is expected?
Yes.
So what I kind of want to say to that is, I think that's very interesting that it's so vocal now. And I think that's the difference. I think women are more vocal about it as opposed to years ago. And when I say years ago, I could even mean early 90s. Women are a lot more vocal about it. And I think that's one of the differences. But I have to say this. I was married for 14 years and I've been divorced for 7. Okay. And when I kind of got back out here in the game or whatever, I was shocked that the word submissive was being thrown around the way it was, because I didn't know that. I guess I didn't recognize that it was a difference in just being a good woman or being a good girlfriend or a good wife. And so, when I heard women, and of course, social media just blew everything up. So when I heard women talk about being submissive and on social media, seeing how, people say submission must be earned and I'm not going to submit, I honestly had to say to myself, oh, that's a thing? Because I was like, I did those things and I thought that was just what you do.
Naturally, because that's something you saw growing up in the household.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I honestly don't think men used to take advantage of that as much before it was so vocal, before women became so vocal about it. Then all of a sudden, it's almost kind of like a standoff. Like, you're going to be submissive? No, I'm not going to be submissive until you do it. Well, I'm not going to do this till you do that. And I'm not, it's like almost like a tug of war back and forth.
Yeah, you got to show me.
Before it was discussed, it just happened.
It was expected on both ends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think either party was wrong for expecting.
Right. And so if the man had that from you, necessary, I guess from the beginning, I think me and Dre kind of said this probably last week and the week before. It was his job to keep it. He had it, but it was his job to keep it. So look, you got my submission or whatever else, my respect as you being the king or the man of his household. Not necessarily saying you have to earn it, but you have to keep it. It's your job to keep it.
Yeah, listen. And that's what I mean by I didn't know that was a thing.
Right. Okay.
So like me being out here dating again, I don't know. I just always, and I'm not even gonna say dating again. How about when I was married? I hear women now talk about, when they're mad at their husbands, they won't cook for them and they won't do this. And I'm just like, oh, I'm being completely transparent. And I'm like, I don't think my mother ever just did not cook for my father.
No,
she might not have made his plate that day.
Been cutting him out while she was cooking,
right? Because we're also from. Listen, I'm going to tell you how we were raised. We brought our father his plate.
Okay.
I mean, to this day, we still bring him his plate. So even doing that,
be over there while they eating dinner.
Yeah, while they're eating dinner, he's just like, hey, bring my plate. Of course, one of us will bring it. But the thing is, even that, when in doing that, I do realize that some women would look down on us like, I ain't gonna be doing, and it's just like, what? This is just not, I didn't know that was a thing. And I just have to keep saying, I didn't know that was a thing because this is how I was raised. But little things like that, it's just like, if it's not acknowledged, if it's not spoken about, then, or if it's not spoken about in society, it's not a big deal. But now all of a sudden society got a hold to it. And let me add, social media got a hold to it. And now it's bad. Now it's like, oh, I can't believe you're doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, some parts of social media, that is a topic of discussion too. Who gets the plate first? If your dad comes to visit your house, your husband or your dad, or what's wrong with these women fixing these men's plates? That's like,
why I don't add in that conversation.
Yeah, because we would get talked about like some punks. Because even when we have family functions, I didn't fix a few cousins' plates before. Like they just expect it to happen, and we just like whatever. We might not want to do it, but it's just like whatever. They gonna talk about us if we don't. So
I was just about to say that, and it's just like, and it's like we have several aunts. We have a lot of like our family. We come from a family that people got married in the family. That's just, you know, and we're from a huge family. And so we were almost, I hate to say trained, that makes it sound so bad, but we were reared to, that's what we do. Like the men are in there watching football. Hey, what you want? Greens, mashed potatoes? Okay. No, he don't want no ribs. Like that's just what we did.
Imagine that these days.
But guess what? What you say?
I said, imagine that these days.
Yeah, but while we did that at the same time, we never had to want for anything as far as like protection. Like nobody ever, we call our uncles, you know, like my father, our uncles, our cousins. It's like people knew that we had this fence around us. So we were protected. If I had a flat tire, all I got to do is say, hey, I got a flat tire. I may have just made their plates, but all I got to do is say, I got a flat tire. Somebody out there fixing it. So it was just reciprocity, I guess.
That's supposed to be like that. So Dre, let me ask you this question, and I'm not even getting off topic. Dre, who gets the plate in your house? You or your dad? Your dad come to visit. It's Thanksgiving. Who get that first plate?
Who gets the first plate?
Who get
me or my dad?
In your house?
Me.
You the king of that house, right?
Hey, dog.
Yeah.
No, really. That's funny, man. Yeah. So you know what? I'm gonna talk with my stepdad. If my stepdad up in there, then my mom gonna be up in there, and my mom gonna get up. She gonna make sure that his plate taken care of. Regardless, she gonna make sure he taken care of. So, but if it was that type of setting, it's going down, bro. Bring me my junk first, bro.
Yeah. His chicken leg a little bigger than mine.
Look, I'm looking at everybody.
You might want to swap plates. Dad. I got you.
Hold on, cuz. That don't even look like yours. They like mine, for real.
Well, have you all heard the question that they also have floating around about should a woman make the plate for her husband first or the kids? Who should get fed first? Have you all heard that question? And if you have or haven't, how do you all respond to that?
That's a good question.
You know what? For me, I probably if it comes down to my woman cooking and doing her thing, then I'm probably going to, be the one to go up in there with the baby for the babies and say, all right, let me make sure my babies eat first. Yeah. All bets are off there.
I second that. Whoever place she brings first, if she just so happened to bring mine, I would ask, hey, get the kids eating. Or if she gave them theirs first, I'm not gonna make a fuss either way it go.
Good answer. Because I always say to me, that's the answer to that question.
Long as it's enough to eat. If there ain't enough to go around, you got to make sure they got their plate first. Then we got to make sure they got their plate first. As long as ain't enough to go around. So here's something I want to throw in there because I saw this today. And love versus loyalty.
Okay.
What are y'all thoughts on that? Which one? How would you rank them?
Ooh.
I think that loyalty is first.
Okay.
Loyalty is more important than love because to me, loyalty is bundled with so many other things. That's respect. You obviously care about me if you're being loyal to me. And if you have those two things, those three things for me, then later there will be love. But I think I would rather have somebody be loyal to me than to immediately just be in love with me.
Okay.
See, I think this may be where we differ because I think I
like differing.
Yeah, I might say love first.
Okay.
It is. I think it's because number one, I'm a hopeless romantic. So I just, I would say because when you say loyalty, I'm assuming that you mean being committed and not only being with that person. Is that what you mean? Being monogamous.
That's not what I mean when I said it. When I answered,
I think maybe I need the definition of what you consider loyalty. Reggie.
Me or Reggie?
Reg, what do you consider loyalty?
So I'm gonna read this little piece that I saw that made me ask this question. It said, "Love is an attachment that comes from the heart and soul. Loyalty comes from the mind and how you show it. Loyalty can be broken easier than unconditional love. But also, love is an attachment that is just a feeling. If you're spending too much time with somebody, whether it's man or woman, and I agree with this part, as the more time you spend with somebody or something, you're going to learn to love it, right? Mm-hmm. So the higher chances that you end up growing, showing love for it, having love for it, you're going to love it. But that don't necessarily mean that you're going to be loyal to it.
Uh-huh.
Right? Being loyal to someone means having their best interests at heart no matter what.
See, I think that's what love means too. I think loving someone, you could have their best interests at heart as well. I guess, but I will say this, your definition is a little bit different than what I was thinking. When I was thinking loyalty, I guess I was thinking, just being monogamous, being with that one person. But I don't know, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I'm not sure if I would want loyalty without love. I want that love.
Yeah, as loyalty being a behavior, and love is acted out at a certain point, and this could very well be from my experiences. I feel like I've had a lot of heartbreak, and most of it has been because someone has not been loyal to me. Meanwhile, I'm like the biggest nun in loyalty ever. And so I feel like loyalty is like you have my best interest at heart and you're acting like it. You can love me all you want, but that's not going to stop you from doing something that's hurtful to me.
Man.
Okay.
I think loyalty does.
So that's why I was going to go. That's why I was going to ask you.
That's true.
As far as in the loyal part, like, because I mean, yeah, you can love somebody and still fuck around or do something. And they always say it's always people that love you that hurt you the most.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there you go. Ahead, no, I was going to throw it to you.
Oh yeah. So were you clear? Were we clear? Or were we talking about strictly relationship when it came down to the question? I mean, that's what everybody rolled with, but I'm just
yeah. So I guess because I guess we can group everything into a relationship aspect, just like me and you have a relationship. And I love you, and I got loyalty to you.
Yeah, but it's different though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah. All right.
So
let's talk man and woman then. Yeah.
Man and woman. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with what Bree said, man. And we all know, everybody on here might know, not just man. I think it might be more so in men than in women, but we both know men and women that might have that special someone or a
special friend.
Yeah, well, no, not even, yeah, we'll go with that special friend, or y'all might not even be friends no more. But at the end of the day, you still love that person. You know what I'm saying? You might love the hell out of that person, but you might not be friends with that person right now or y'all might not be friends ever again because they were disloyal. Because they did something that showed that they couldn't be trusted. It don't necessarily mean, I know some people might say, hey, well, if you love me, you won't do this. No, that's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, nothing is perfect, love included. Love isn't perfect. There's no such thing, in my opinion. So with that being said, it's like, shit, human equals error in my mind, right? I'm not giving that nobody no pass. I'm just saying humans equal error. So you got some people out here that may very well love you, but they might not be able to get their shit together. It's not okay. It don't mean they don't love you. It just means they got issues within themselves. That's just the way I look at it. It's fucked up. Very. But it don't mean that they don't love you. At the end of the day, even that's why I asked on the other side of it, like our parents or our cousins or whatever the case may be, you talk about love and loyalty, automatically, people that you done grew up in the sandbox, they love you. They love you to death. You know what I mean? They do. Some of them. However, when it comes down to it, sometimes people, they grow apart, or some people have different motives, or people, grow into who they are. And something that they got going on and what they want to do may cause them to make a unloyal or disloyal move. Now, again, not saying it's okay, but it happens. Okay. People grow differently. People think differently. So I'm going to take the loyalty for sure. Keep it 1,000 with me.
I get that. I think I was definitely thinking of it when you posed the question. I was definitely thinking of it in terms of a relationship. And I guess I could not see myself being in a relationship forever with someone who is loyal and they tell me I ain't going nowhere, but they don't love me. If I don't feel loved.
Yeah.
But then again, that makes
I don't think it's either or though. I think it's just which one is most important. You can have both. Yeah. It's not either or.
Because if I guess if you guys are with each other long enough and in each other's face long enough, y'all gonna love each other at some way or another. You just can't coexist with somebody and not grow some kind of love for them.
Yeah, I mean it's a form of respect. So it's going to prevent you. Again, the best way I can think of it is it's going to prevent you from doing some hurtful things. And if you don't have that, you love me, but you're not loyal to me. So that means you think you could go out and do whatever else you want to do. That's not gonna work for me. Like that's not gonna work.
I do love your that dynamic because it's different than how I guess we saw it, and you being a hopeless romantic drives and fuels that for you to say love first. I mean, which is not a wrong answer.
Hell no.
At all.
I said loyalty. You know what? I'll go even further. I said loyalty over love because in my past experiences and dealing with folks or whatever, I thought that, well, hell, as long as I love you, I can do what the hell I want to do. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, that's deep.
And I quit, and I had to learn, hard head makes soft ass. I had to learn, and you know what I say, Reg, one thing about it, you talk to the walls when you're by yourself, you could have an alligator mouth, but you really got a hummingbird ass when you're in the house by yourself. You're talking to the walls don't talk back, right? I always say that the walls don't talk back. So I had to learn, and I'm still learning, to this day to understand that it's that loyalty is for me and the type of person I am. I guess through my loyalty, I'm going to show love. Like I guess Bree was saying, like it kind of it's going to come all together. Yeah, that's how I am. That's why I say loyalty, because at the end of the day, I've had people that have loved me. You know what I mean? I know they love me, or people but they've been loyal, and I love them, but I wasn't necessarily always loyal to them. Okay. And at the end, I burned myself. I burned myself.
Got you. So here's another question. My bad. Here's another question. Which one do y'all think is easier to show? Loyalty or love? Or to express, show or express?
I don't find either of them difficult. But from past experiences with men, I think that loyalty has been more difficult to express on the male's part.
Okay.
And it gives me the thought of like, for fear of seeming like a simp or a sucker, like you want me to think there's something else going on and there's not, and you feel like, you know, you're being loyal, but you don't necessarily express that.
Okay.
I got Halo around my
I
head.
think I've had the opposite. I think I've had the opposite experience.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Please.
I've had the experience where I feel like the loyalty is there.
Okay.
But I haven't felt loved.
Let me stop you real quick before you continue on. Is it because you wasn't being loved the way you want to be loved, or they just were showing you love, but maybe it wasn't the love that you want to be shown?
And you might be right with that. I'm sure everybody has heard about the love languages. You may be correct with saying that. Like I didn't feel like I was I was not being shown love the way I receive love. So yeah, definitely that. I mean, and I could definitely say that I have had some issues with the loyalty, but for the most part, the loyalty was there. From what my definition of loyalty is.
Okay.
You know.
And that could also be what is influencing your answer, because loyalty has not necessarily ever been a problem for you.
Right.
So you can't imagine not
Yeah.
having it. Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll talk about it, and I'll say it was it was easier for me. It's easier for me to show the love, I guess, and versus the loyalty part was hard, and I attribute it to we're gonna just talk about women and being around women.
Hold on, Dre. Hold on, Dre. Listen, unapologetic. This is grown man talk right now.
Oh yeah, straight talk.
Go ahead, Dre. Go ahead, Dre.
Just straight, no chase. So we gonna talk about the man side of it, or I would attribute it to who I am, who I became because of my upbringing. And at one time, my upbringing was, hey, you can have as many women as you want, because at the end of the day, you are who you are. It's one of you, and it's one of you, and it's a million of them. And that's so I had to unlearn that shit. You understand what I'm saying? I really had to unlearn that shit. And now in my age, now I'm understanding now, like, boy, that ain't it, boy. You know what I mean? So the loyalty part then was definitely now. So like I'm loyal to the core now, because at the end of the day, I understand who I am, and I understand what I bring to a person. So if I show this person loyalty, shit, man, it's got a motherfucking limit, man. You know what I mean? For us, you know. So the loyalty is important now. It's so important. But at one time, it was the hardest shit ever. Okay. Girls from wall to wall. Chris Brown said wall to wall.
So you building off of loyalty. You building that love off of loyalty, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Now, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, being mid-30s and shit now, like, it's like that the love, like you said, again, the love gonna be there, man. You know what I'm saying? The love is going to be there. Because if as a man, I believe if I show you loyalty in part, it's like a slinky. Okay. If I show you loyalty in part, you're gonna show me that love. You're gonna show me that love. So in turn, you show me that love, I'm giving you that loyalty. But shit, I got to throw it back your way. I got to. If I'm a man, if I'm a real man, I got to throw it back in your pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Point into each other. Got you.
Long story short, pointing into each other.
Got you. Ladies. Yeah. All right, let's I'm gonna try to get into some toxic traits real quick.
Toxicity.
Oh Lord. Here we go.
And this is just all off any, this ain't even got nothing to do with, I guess, what we were gonna talk about. But so as women, have y'all messed up relationships, whether you have cheated or just done something far as in started an argument or took something the wrong way and actually messed up the relationship to where it wasn't I guess repairable? Or has it always been the man's fault?
It definitely has not always been. I've never been told I've made things unrepairable. And I say that because they always try to come back. But I have definitely contributed to issues that have led to the demise of a relationship. And it hasn't even been no trash cheating or anything. It's more so toxic traits that I didn't know were toxic.
I second that. I've never cheated on anyone. But I definitely know there are some traits that I have had that I didn't know until later. Like even when I say later, I mean like now, more recently.
Okay.
That I've learned about myself that I'm like, that wasn't right either. But like Bree said, no one has ever told me that they had a problem with me.
I've been told that there was a problem with me, but I didn't see it as a problem, so I thought they was tripping. But then later, I'm like, yeah, I might have been polluting the air with that one a little bit. Like, that might not have been right. So,
okay. So, well, I'm not even gonna ask y'all to tell us what some of these toxic traits are. But...
Oh, why not? Let's talk about it.
Well, you know what? I can start with mine right away. What we said earlier, you asked us about those roles. Me going into my marriage thinking like, okay, so when you gonna do this? Because that's what my dad did. Like having those expectations. I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
I've always said this. You know, we always have this discussion in our community about how it's difficult for a man to date a woman and marry a woman who has daddy issues because she didn't know her dad or never met her dad. I'm gonna tell you what's worse for some of these men. Dating a woman that did know her father, that has her father in her life, and her father was a good man. That's worse for some of these men because now I have an expectation. Now, I don't know what it feels like to not have an expectation at all and to be lost and to be wondering, be looking for my father. I don't know that. I have an expectation. And I know what that looks like. I know what a working marriage looks like. I know how that looks. So now I'm up here. So if you down here, and it's like, so when you gonna get up here? Because that's how this goes.
All right.
So that's almost a bigger threat to some. Depending on what type of man you are, a bigger threat is dealing with a woman that had and has a good father, in her life. So
I can agree, and actually, this is good for me and Dre, and Dre hasn't got there yet because his daughter isn't of age. But I actually had to tell my daughter, however you feel about me, don't look for me in any other man. Because there's only one me, and I'm going to love her regardless of what she does. My daughter could go out and kill somebody tomorrow.
Right, fast.
And that's gonna be my baby forever. I'm gonna love her unconditionally. She can kill somebody and say, "Hey, Dad, I just killed somebody. Where you at?"
Right.
And Daddy going to try to help her and fix that. Ain't no other man gonna do that. It might be another man to do that, but it depends on who she kills, because it could have been someone that he's close to or he know. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna tell you this, Reg. What you need to do is you need to tell her that. You need to tell her, ain't no other man gonna do that. Because see, we grow up not knowing that.
And I guess Dre can kind of speak to that too, because he'll be there sooner or later. But yeah, there ain't gonna be no other Reggie, or there ain't gonna be no other Dre in his daughter's life.
Yeah, well, I tell my daughter that now. I put that in her now. She understands now. Like at the end of the day, like ain't nobody gonna treat you like how I treat you, and do the things that I do with you, or listen to you, and without wanting something in return. I'm never gonna want anything in return, ever. I'm never gonna want anything in return. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I let her know that, like, I do this because this is something that I want to do. This is something, as your daddy, that's what I'm going to do. This is who I am. So yeah, this how we rock it. I can't say that for the next person. I can't say that for the next.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can't. She turns 8. She turns 8 tomorrow. So you know what I mean. But I still, even now, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I still let her know, like, nah.
There's no hidden agendas.
Yeah, it's me and you, killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, Bree, what toxic traits do you have?
Yeah.
I can't speak in the present tense because I actually have dedicated a lot of time recently from my last relationship to ridding myself of the most recent toxic traits that I have been known to have. But I'm gonna take it from the top. In my early 20s, I have now realized that really all of my 20s for real, I and this isn't gonna sound toxic at first, but I loved people that I had no business loving. And I poured into people that I had no business pouring into. And because I was doing that, I had expectations of them. And I was hard with them expectations. Like, I love very hard. We are both Leos. So not meeting those expectations, I also was silent when you didn't meet my expectations. So I may not have said anything up front, but after a while, my behavior would cold turkey change on me. And I thought, well, I'm just doing, that's what you're supposed to do. Like, I should expect things from you because you're a man and I'm doing these things. So why aren't you doing this? And okay, you're not going to do it. Well, I'm just stay here as long as I want to. And then when I'm ready to go, I'm gonna get up and walk away. And so I recognized that from a previous long-term, very toxic situationship. And then recently, it's kind of the same thing, but a different version. I ignore the hell out of red flags. We'll paint them a different color and like, oh, that's not red. That's like a fuchsia. That's, it's not. I will ignore the hell out of some red flags and then later be sitting somewhere looking dumb as hell. Like, bitch, what? Like, and my patience is long and, plentiful at the beginning, and it just wears down until then something has to come out that shouldn't have. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Them red flags will get you, boy.
Yeah. See, I used to do that, but now that's oh man.
Dre, what happened when you run a red light, Dre?
What's that, bro?
What happened when you run a red light?
Oh, that shit, your motherfucking ass on crash, bitch. Goddamn T-bone.
Yeah, you can't ignore the red flags.
Yeah, but man, I used to ignore that, like literally be blind to red flags.
Yeah.
See, and I think my problem now is that I could just see the tip of the red flag, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need this. And that, I don't know, that's not always good either.
Yeah, but it's hard to balance. It's hard to have balance. Yeah. And I guess so all of us on this platform are single right now. And it's for, were you been married?
I have not, no.
Okay, well, it really don't matter. You're still in the dating game. Dating these days, is a lot harder than what I remember. Just in my early 20s, late 20s. It's
trash.
You said it's trash.
It's trash.
Yeah. It's too much influence on what your relationship should be and should look like, and what you should do,
and what the timeline of getting in a relationship should look like.
That too, and I guess I just hate the outside influences. I hate people telling women what a relationship should look like for them. I think as women, you should have your own idea of what you want, how you want to love, who you want to love, and us as men too.
I was gonna say, don't leave the men out, because you all are influenced.
So I think it's a little more different for us, because I will never go to Dre and tell Dre, hey, damn, Dre, she ain't fix your plate. You need to get rid of her. But so I had my friend today. She texted me and was like, my fiance's birthday was today. I took his truck to the car wash and got it detailed. And my girlfriends laughed at me like, that's a man's job. Why you taking his truck to get it washed? A man's supposed to be taking his truck and your car to get it washed or whatever else. But she did that, you know, because it's his birthday. She want to do something nice for him, and they like, that's a man supposed to be doing that stuff.
Number one, she got the wrong girlfriends. I'm serious.
A lot of these women got the wrong girlfriends then.
And that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I have so many friends. I'm a social butterfly, so I got a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I know which ones. I wouldn't even. It's certain friends I wouldn't even told I did that. I wouldn't even told them that. But I know the ones that I can, because I know the ones that we are on the same track. We have the same mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't tell everybody everything. Misery loves company. So if they don't have a man, they don't like you saying you do for your man. They don't like that. So you can't tell everybody everything.
I don't even think it's if they don't have a man, because most of my friends are married. And I know one person who, even in her marriage, she would have said the same thing that girl's friend said. Like, what? I ain't doing that. She tried to tell one of our friends one time who, she was over here visiting. Another friend came by to visit, but she was rushing because she needed to go home and cook dinner for her husband. And this friend was like, "Girl, don't be rushing out of here to cook. He could fix his own food." And she was like, "Don't try to break up my happy home. I'm going home and cook my husband dinner." And I just looked at her like, that's why y'all in the situation y'all in now.
Right.
I salute that woman.
You can't tell. You just can't tell everybody everything. But this is what I want to say, Reg. When you said something about you wouldn't go to Dre and ask him for, advice on such and such.
No. I said I wouldn't tell him that his woman, that if his woman didn't fix his plate, he need to change.
Right.
Yeah.
Y'all don't get on each other's business. That's what it is.
Right. And that's what I was just about to say. I think the difference is, I don't think you all tell each other your just vent to each other that much about things that happen while you're in a relationship, unless it's real bad. If y'all start talking about it, that means it's gotten to that point where y'all like, nigga, let me tell you what's going on. Like, that means it's gotten to a point. A few things have happened. But what I will say, I think you all influenced each other with is the beginning, how to approach a woman, how to person. That's where I think that you all influence each other the most. And I'm not even sure if you all realize it. But some of the things that men say to each other or comments that are made, it's about the pursuing of a woman or lack thereof, or that when you first meet and who, it's all that. I hear that a lot. I had an example today.
I think it all depends on the relationship between two men, because me and Reg talk about anything, but it's longevity in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's different. But I will agree with you. Majority, dudes might be like, yeah, well, I'm trying to bag her, blah blah blah, bro. I'm gonna do this, do that. What you think I should do this, bro? I'm trying to, yeah. So I agree with you.
And it's that beginning.
Yeah. And I want to add on to what Dre said, because I 100% agree. It's 50-50 because me and Dre can talk about any and everything. Right. But we also, so the way, I'm not going to say the way me and Dre met is kind of unconventional, because it is actually our relationship through a woman.
Yeah.
And
it is pretty unconventional.
Right. So he's respecting me enough to not put me in a situation to where it jeopardizes my relationship with said woman. And then, a relationship that I was in, I put him in a position. I haven't put him in a position to where it jeopardizes anything that he got going on in his household, to where, I fucked around, on this one I was dating, but Dre didn't have no knowledge of it. You know what I'm saying? So when it came down to it, it wasn't like, damn, Dre, you knew about this shit too. You know what I'm saying? So, but we do talk about certain things, and then there's certain things that we, I guess out of the respect factor or whatever else, not to bring somebody else into that, we don't talk about that. So I agree with you 100%. It's that I guess that fine line, that 50-50.
Yeah, that's what I see. I think that you all influence each other from the beginning, like when it comes to that beginning and how to start this thing.
Okay. So back to last week. So as Black women, dating black men, or whatever. I'm assuming black men. We're gonna go with these black kings because that's all y'all love, the black kings.
I love me some black men. I love them.
So when I guess dating them and getting to know them, adoring them or whatever, however you want to put it, getting them to I guess open up to you, because us as black men, and Dre can attest to it, we don't open up to everybody. We don't share our feelings. We don't show vulnerabilities from the get-go. How do y'all, I guess, jump that hurdle? Or let this man feel comfortable enough to where he can do that?
That when you find out the answer to that, let me know, because I mean, it just doesn't happen naturally. And you may know that a man feels comfortable with you. And I've had men even tell me, like, I feel so comfortable with you, I can talk to you about this, that, and the other, but they're still not giving you everything. They're still not being completely vulnerable. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
I, in retrospect, think that I have gotten that out of men more often than I initially recognized.
Okay.
I am like an open book, and I think that's something that people see in me very easily upon initially getting to know me. So my comfort with people has allowed for them to feel a little bit more comfortable with me. I'm very vocal too. So if I need something from you, if I need you to tell me how you're feeling, I will say that, and I'll repeat it if I have to, more than once. So I have either broken you down to the point where you tell me, or there are some people, like my most recent ex, we just kind of grew into, like, I didn't really have to tell him, tell me what's going on. We both started growing to that level of comfort together. And I think, like you just said, you don't get everything from anyone. I don't expect everything, because I feel like even in a marriage, you probably don't know 1,000% of that person. And so I had to kind of check myself and humble myself to realize, like, maybe, I share things very freely. Everybody's not like that. So maybe they're literally giving me the best that they have right now. So I've kind of changed my expectation in that aspect. But usually it just comes through constant conversation or a natural progression.
But see, I think in a marriage you should. I think that's what a marriage. That's the difference between a marriage and just.
You probably should, but you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of things that should be there, but they're just not. And sometimes they are. Not to say that that's every marriage, but from things that I have heard and friends, just kind of talking, I think that everyone still, well, a lot of people hold in a lot of things still.
And that was the problem. That's why I'm divorced now.
So I got a 2-part for you, CeeCee, because you just said something. So, because you jumped to marriage, but can you really marry somebody without them showing that softer side of you, or being or that vulnerability, or them sharing some secrets that maybe nobody else has? And also, is that something that you're giving to these men as well? Are you telling them things that maybe your sister might not know, or somebody else might not know, you know what I'm saying, to where they can open up to you and say, you know what, I feel comfortable talking to this person?
Yeah, just like she said, she's an open book. I'm the same way. I'm the exact same way. And I do get some of, I'm not saying that they're just complete, they just have a bunch of walls up. I'm not saying that at all. But I have definitely had the experience of, I know that there's more, but you're not letting me in, and that's okay. But when it starts to affect everything, it's like, okay, you got to let me in or do something, because I know it's something there. I know it's something that's going on. What's going on? It may have to do with me or not. It could be something from your past, but something is going on. You're not going to let me in. And I don't know, maybe you're onto something, Reg. Maybe it's something that I'm doing that's keeping that from happening. But
another toxic trait.
Another toxic trait. Oh my God, I'm revealing all of my toxic traits. I don't know. And if that is, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I haven't reflected on that one yet. But I must say that I feel, and it may be because I'm so open. I'm so open. So when if you give me 80%, I'm like, I know. So when am I going to get that other 20? because I didn't give you 110. So when am I going to get that other 20? And I can tell I'm a very observant person, and I deal a lot with energy. I can feel energy very well. So I can feel when something is off, when something is wrong. And so if I'm not getting that, to me, that's a sign to let me know, okay, so I see where we are. If I'm not getting that, okay, thank you for not giving it to me and letting me see that you're not giving it to me, because that lets me know where we are. But if we're married, I need to get that. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. That's how that's why you get married. Well, mm-hmm. that's why I would get married. That's my person. That's the only time I'm getting married. I ain't in no rush to get married for no other reason. That's gonna be my person. Mm. Don't know nobody know anything else about me or everything about me. That person will.
Okay. So Dre, as far as I guess the answers, the vulnerability part, because I think CeeCee is a little more interesting, and that's just because she said she hasn't had that from men. Does it sound like she's not opening up as much to give a man that I guess that leeway to feel a little more comfortable?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think just listening to it, the last thing what for me, in order for me to open up, the last thing I want to hear is, I mean, I'll listen to you and I'll be that ear, that shoulder, whatever. And, if you want to be open and vulnerable with me, but the last thing I want to do it on my time. So that give me, it ain't gonna work for me. That ain't gonna work for me. If anything, it's gonna shut me down. Like, bro, calm down now. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously.
You are hilarious.
No, seriously. No, seriously.
No, I'm taking you seriously, but
no, and I am too. I'm listening to you.
Funny.
Yeah, because you think about when it comes to, and not saying that a man's vulnerability is more important than a woman. I'm not saying that at all. I can only speak on these size 10 and a half that I walk in. You understand what I'm saying? So I know for me, in order for me to tell you the shit that I done been through, I got to be comfortable, and it can't be no pressure. And in this pressure, I'm gonna be like, oh, all right. Then this shit gonna sound. Then I'm gonna make the shit sound like a movie. I'm talking about the love letter movie after that. You know what I mean? It's gonna sound like the Titanic after that. You feel me?
I learned pressure in the last relationship. I learned that was one of my toxic things, pressuring someone, moving on my own timeline. And I'm like, okay, I'm not the only person in this relationship. I cannot expect everything to move on my time. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never had a lot of patience ever. I'm the baby of our family. I never really had to have patience. But old boy sat my ass down and had a real nice talk with me about that. Okay. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. So yeah, I'm getting there.
That's all we can do, man, one day at a time.
I like that. I like that one, Dre. I like the answer. I like that.
Yeah, see, I gotta say this, Dre. Thank you for diagnosing me and all, but we can't leave all the way together. But no, you're right. Huh?
I'm gonna tell you, guess what? This is the second time that I've ever talked to you, right? And you was like, what the other 20? I was like, wait a minute. Is she talking to me? I don't have nothing to give.
Oh, no, well, thank you for that. Thank you. I'm glad that you just pointed that out. Maybe I need to see that. But I was just gonna say that I don't know. Maybe I'm at the extremes, because it's like I either care or I don't. It's not.
There's no gray area with you.
Work on that, but I either care or I don't. So I'm the type of person, like, I'm a vault. So if you tell me something, it's not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And so, and I know that about me, but I understand that maybe everyone doesn't know that about me. And I'm non-judgmental, and I'm working on being even more non-judgmental, but because of that, I feel like in my mind, I know that you could tell me anything. Why don't you know? And so it's like, if I get told no too many times, or because I'm not a nag. I'm not like, tell me, what is it? So I'm not like that. But if I know that I'm opening up those doors and you don't walk in, I'm like, come on, they open. Okay, forget it. Then it's just like, okay, I either if they was open, now they shut. What? And I do have to work on that, but it's because I'm so open. I'm the person that I don't know. It's just hard to explain. But that's with certain people as well, because there are some people that, you know, if I'm your ride or die, then it doesn't even matter. I'm gonna give you time. You know, all you gotta do is give me a look, and I'm like, I got you. You know. But I guess I'm talking about just meeting someone for the first time or whatever.
Yeah.
I damn sure ain't giving you shit the first time you meet me.
Listen, let me give you an example.
You gotta leave them doors open. You gotta leave them doors open. Them doors can't close at any time soon.
This example is not so much about telling some heart-wrenching story about, you know, some tragedy or anything like that.
Right.
But it's about vulnerability, being vulnerable.
Yeah.
So case in point, today, somebody jumped in my inbox today and was like, and to help me understand, please, y'all, make me understand. When men will jump in your DMs and say, hello, and that's it. Now, this is a dude I don't know. I don't know you from Adam. I don't know you.
Okay.
Hello. So I'm like, one of these. So I'm like, okay, hello. And then he's like, how are you today? So I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Because I'm just like, what do you want? I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, what do you want? Get to the point. Say, what do you want? But anyway, he said, how are you today? I'm doing well. How are you? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm just at work. So I'm like, okay, is he trying to holler? Is he asking about the podcast? What's going on? What are you doing? Like, get to the point. And I could tell that he was trying to tiptoe. And I'm just like, that to me, I'm gonna be honest with you, right off the bat, you ain't my type.
You like aggressive.
Right? And I'm sorry, but I'm being honest with y'all, because it's like, why are you tiptoeing? What do you want? But I kept going. He was cute, so I kept going. I'm like, so he said, yeah, I'm just working. So I was like, okay, that's nice. And I can't remember what I said. What did I say afterwards? Then he says, so why don't you tell me about yourself? That's what he said. Say something, make me understand. Make me understand.
Listen, I can't knock another man's approach because every man is different. Some of us are shy, some of us aren't. Some of us are more upfront than others. I mean, me, I'm a more upfront person. I'm not gonna waste your time because I don't want you to waste mine. If I do happen to hop in your DMs, I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, hey, how you doing? Blah 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 blah, and I'm gonna let you know why I'm messaging you. Look, you caught my eye. I would like to know if I can get to know you a little better.
And that's what I'm saying.
Where it goes from there, whatever else. Some men are not gonna do that. Some men are gonna be way more aggressive. But that's just me. I'm not gonna waste your time.
And that's what I'm saying. To me, even that is an example of not being able to be vulnerable. Because I feel like you don't want to put yourself out there and just say, hey, I'm interested in you. I'm trying, because I don't know, why are you messaging me, sir? You're wasting my time right now. Like, what do you want? And it's like, but then if I came at him like that, okay, then I'm a bitch. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it's hard for us. Y'all don't understand. It's hard for us. It's like, you approached me. Why all you say to me is, hello, how are you? I'm like, how are you? I'm good. I'm at work. So tell me about yourself. What? You approached me. That too is another level of vulnerability. That's being vulnerable right after. So to me, that's why I say he's done right there, because you can't even be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I saw you, like you said, Reg, I'm interested in you. You can't even be vulnerable enough to say that. You can't put yourself in the position to maybe be rejected, or you can't even do that. So it's like, if you can't do that, I don't know.
I'm with you.
You know, but I do think, and Dre might be able to attest to this. I think as men, we've all been there before, to where we might have our approach to a specific woman might have been different, to where we may have been a little shyer. I don't know. I mean, I found myself to where I have approached a woman and was straight up front like that before, and then another woman to where I was like, I mean, I need to figure out how I'm gonna come at her. Like I actually had to formulate some shit and put it together. You know what I'm saying? And then the time came, and it was like, oh, what the fuck was I?
That's true.
I get it, but I'm just saying, I wanted to bring that up to bring up vulnerability and just how I think I'm approachable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if that's difficult for you, so like, when are you going to get over this hump? Because to me, as soon as I say hello back and I said, how are you? You should see, like, let a wall down. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Because I guess I'm saying that to say it starts at the beginning. It starts at the very beginning.
Okay. So you responding is already you being having some interest, I guess.
Do you know how many people I don't respond to?
That's what I was about to ask. So if you didn't
because I don't respond at all.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So and I'm not going to even say just the hello. Maybe
he had a pinky. Okay, so he had a pinky toe in the door.
Right. If I say hello back, it's like, okay, hello back. And then I went as far to say, I say hello back. He said, how are you today? I said, I'm good. How are you doing today? I went so far. I could have just said, I'm good. And because I have done that before too. Bree, help me out. If we get, you ought to understand what we get coming at us. So it's like, in order to have a filter,
random stuff more than me. I always tell my sister, my cousins, don't nobody ever try to talk to me. I'm like the invisible man. Like, people don't even see me. So when people do approach me, it's not usually like that. I don't get that. And I get my people approaching me is usually face to face. I don't get a lot of random DMs. I just don't. But I also, like you just saw, I don't have a bunch of random people following me. Like, you have more than that, of course, because of, your podcast and everything. But I have a little bit more patience than you do in that area. And you know that. Yes, I do. She is way more dismissive than me. So, and part of it is because I don't like, now let's not get it twisted. I will like cut somebody off for sure. But I think it takes at this point in life and in this day and age, I think it takes a lot for a man to say something to a woman, especially if it's something that he's typing to you that could potentially get screenshot. So I'm like, I take those into consideration.
Oh my God.
Why men may be more careful in their approach if it's not a face-to-face contact, because you got to be concerned about, like, she might have blown me up and screenshot this and posted on her stories, like, get this fool out my DMs or something like that. Like, so I'm a little bit more considerate in my responses to people.
I did not even think about that, but you were absolutely right.
It's just the reality.
And even with that, you got to be a little more sensitive, because things are the way we are moving in this world. Like, everything is a harassment, and oh my God.
And not
right about that. I didn't think about that. You're right.
Just be crazy. So, like, you say the wrong thing in the DM, they at the job, like, or somewhere where you are.
And see, that's my point too. That's why I'm not gonna give you it. You want to tell me about yourself? You call me.
I'm not saying you could have poured your heart out to him. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying the audacity of him. You called me. You jumped in my DM. Tell me about yourself. You tell me about you.
I don't hear this story and think like, oh my God, this fool. I don't hear that. I hear
not this fool, but it just, to me, that is a process of elimination. That it's like okay. Now I will honestly say he did not eliminate himself yet, because when he said so tell me about yourself, I said, well, you know what? You initiated the conversation. Tell me about yourself. And he did. He didn't give me the runaround. He did. So I have to, kind of clap him up for that. But it's just, I got to see that you're willing. What do you want? What's going on here? And y'all guys, we have to be careful, because so many men are just out there just looking for, y'all know what they're looking for.
Tell me about it.
You don't say. Tell us more. Tell us more.
I mean, they're looking for a hookup, and I don't do hookups. So it's if that's why you're here, we got to eliminate them quickly. You gotta, have like the net in the pool and get out all the garbage. And see
what they do.
They try to see if you're gonna hook up.
Trying to see if you don't.
The audacity.
I'm just kidding.
$40 or no?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So,
yeah, I think.
Right. But so to close this out, I think we got 2 more questions for y'all and whatever Dre got. And this is, I guess, going off of last week. So dating a black man and looking for a black man, I guess how do you feel that you can make his life a black man? Because we know what black women go through, we know what black men going through, but we're speaking on black men because you two date black men. So what can he look forward to, or what is it that you can do or you feel you can do to make his life easier as a black man in America?
That's a good question. Britt?
I mean, for me, I try to be, and I've been told that I have been, a place of like comfort and safety. Like I said, I have experienced vulnerability in a man, and so I have a ridiculous amount of patience when it comes to men now, as far as just trying to understand them and learn them. Luckily, the relationships that I have had in my past, the men have been very vocal with me about them and their thought processes and, why men do the things that they do. So, and I have a lot of male friends, so I feel like I understand that process a lot. So I think that I know that, I'm very patient with men, and I have a very nurturing soul. So that in itself is not even an effort that I put forth. It's just who I naturally am. So I think that those are the biggest 2 and probably the most important at this point. Okay. I don't really have and this probably is toxic, honestly. I don't really have a type. I look for personality traits. I don't necessarily look for, you got to have a fade or you can't handle dreads or nothing like that. So I'm very open to someone's style or look if the personality is there. So I think acceptance is big.
All right.
That's dope.
Yeah. Yeah, and I would say a lot of what she said as well. The number one thing is that I'm not judgmental. And then when you talk about just in this world with everything happening, absolutely. The number one thing I could say that Bree just said is I'm nurturing. And I know we got that honest from our mother. Like I'm a nurturer. That's just my default. That's what I go to. And I get it. I'm always trying to understand before I try to be understood. And we have to do that because we see what's going on. And we know that the world is against y'all. So it's like, we got to have each other. That's why I said, I have to have my person. You got to be that person. I'm going to be your person. You got to be mine. And so I know that I have that to offer, which is why I am as picky as I am. And I am as dismissive as I am, because if I'm like, I know what this is worth and I got you. You can't get that out to everybody. This don't come a dime a dozen.
You bet on black.
Right. This don't come a dime a dozen. So it's like,
I like that.
I have to be.
It would be so much.
With that.
If you know what, and I get it. That's probably not a term that, because I use that term for everything down there, but it has so many meanings. You know what, Reg? If a motherfucker would come here and say, because I bet on me, I would say,
Case closed. Got you.
Yeah.
You know what, ladies, I did lie. I have more than 2, but they're not gonna be long though.
This is good. I'm enjoying
it. Dre, what was that question that you asked Nisha? What was it? What does she have to offer a man?
Yeah, yeah. So so here's the thing. I can't. So they made it hard for us, Reg. They put these 2 nice young women they put us in the Cobra Clutch because they weren't. They said all the right shit. So no, and the reason why I'm saying it is because at the end of the day, and shout out to Nisha, my girl, my dog. However, you know, it wasn't necessarily the questions weren't necessarily set up to be like, you know, jump on her. But as men, shit was like, huh? Wait a minute, huh? Hold on, wait a minute. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? It really was. So, you know, but honestly, y'all are giving it. You two are really giving it from both sides of the spectrum. So that question, really, you just answered it. You know what I mean? Like you just really answered it. So, hey, I got nothing.
Okay. Okay. All right. Here's one that we stumbled on last week, real quick, and I think actually I got a lot of comments about this one. As far as in marriage, and Bree, I know you haven't been married, but hopefully, no, not hopefully, you will be married one day. We're gonna speak that into existence.
If the marriage license has an expiration date, I'm on it.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yes.
You know they talked about that last week.
There you go.
You do homework.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
there we go. So let's hear it.
I told you, man. They do too. Look, man. I'm tough, man.
What'd you say, Bree?
I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be responding to something?
No. Yeah. Should a marriage license should a marriage come with I guess a renewal date, a re-up date, like a contract?
I think it should.
Okay.
And as an unmarried person, I still don't know if I want to be married. I know that I want a commitment from someone.
Mm-hmm.
But I also know that as a human, I'm not made for just one person. Like, if I was supposed to stay where I'm at all the time, I would have roots and not feet. Like, at some point, I'm supposed to be able to walk away. And not to say that I have.
Who are you?
Me?
Who are you? Go ahead.
My response to a lot of why y'all laughing? What did I miss?
Talk your shit.
They cracking up.
Talk your shit. Go ahead. Talk.
Talk your shit on this motherfucking podcast. Talk your shit. Talk your shit.
Unfortunately, my response to a lot of bullshit is like, you know, the fight or flight. Sometimes I fight, but most times I'm taking flight. So I just feel like nothing else that we do in our lives is that permanent. Like, you could get out of so many other things without the repercussions of the same aspects of divorce. So you got to renew your driver's license. You have to renew so many things, your teacher's license. If you're a nurse, you got to take that RN test every couple of years. Like, why wouldn't we reevaluate as people who evolve and we change and we grow? And why wouldn't we reevaluate our commitment to each other? I think it should be. And that's something that, you know, if both parties don't agree, then we don't even need to get married. Because my biggest fear for it, like, I really don't know if I want to be married, because I just feel like, I don't know if I want to be stuck with somebody. What if I don't like you anymore?
Okay.
My dog said if I was supposed to stay where I was, I would have roots instead of feet. But that's probably the coldest line I've heard this motherfucking year, man.
That's the truth, though. Like,
it's the truth, but I ain't never heard that. I'm gonna put that one in my toolbox. What?
I've heard that a few times.
Man. I ain't never heard that, man.
All right.
Not an original.
So listen,
I have heard it.
I think CeeCee, go ahead. I think she's gonna give us the other aspect of it.
Okay.
No, actually, I can't give you the other aspect because I believe the same thing. So here's the thing.
Well,
that's the wrong one because I'm all up on something else, but I absolutely, if marriage had if the marriage license had an expiration date, I probably would be married now.
You said you would or wouldn't?
I probably would, because I would be willing to try it. I'm going to tell you something, and I'm trying to make this as short as possible. But one of the things in my marriage that became an issue was in 2012, I lost two very important people in my life. I lost my grandfather and my grandmother. And my brother had a horrible accident, and he's still here with us, but it was just a scary accident that he had in 2012. But my grandmother and my grandfather, they were like, when my grandmother was in her 80s, my grandfather was in his 90s. And it showed me two things. Life is short, but you could also live till you 93. Because Papa was, 93 when he passed away? And at the time, I was 40. And I was like, what if I live till I'm 93? That's 53 more years with this motherfucker? What? That's a long time. That is a long. People don't understand how long forever is.
Man. Big Crit say forever is a mighty long time.
Man, forever. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And so it made me say, I don't know if I want to do this forever. Did I want to do it at the time? Absolutely. Did I want to do it while I was doing it? Absolutely. I was meant to do that. But forever? For 50, what if I live until I'm as old as Papa? I'm 93. I got to do this for 53 more years. So the expiration date makes so much sense to me. Not because I'm going to be waiting around on that expiration date, but because how about every time when it's time for renewal, we might say, so, let's have that conversation. We're going to renew this or not. Or how about this? Maybe we don't even have to have the conversation, because when he see that it's almost time for renewal, he going to be like, let me start working on this shit she's been complaining about. Let me get this together. And I don't care if it takes him every single time it's time for renewal. At least I'm getting it that every 5 years, he's working on it. He's trying to get better.
Okay.
If I said year 2, like, hey, baby, I want a bigger house. Or let's not even make it anything materialistic. Hey, baby, I want to go out more. I like going out. That's my release. That's my love language. We never go to the movies. Can we at least just go to a movie? And year 2, he like, okay, yeah, he dragging his feet. Year 4, when he know next year it's time to renew that, maybe he like, you know what? Let's do something big. Let's
plan for that contract.
Let's do it, and that might make me renew. And I don't care. I don't care if it means he's gonna do that every time a year before the renewal. At least I'm gonna get it then.
Dre said that last week. Dre said he think it'll be a lot less divorce than.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely it would. I would be married now if it did. And I'm going to say this too. I've said this before. Every other relationship that I have in my life we were talking about love and loyalty. Every other relationship that I have in my life the people that I love, the people that I'm loyal to, I don't have a contract for that. My sister, who is on the line right now, I am 100% committed to her. I'm 100% loyal to her. We didn't have to sign a contract. My sorority sisters, I'm 100% certain ones committed to. We didn't have to sign a contract to say, hey, I'm going to be there for you whenever. I'm just there.
So you just opened up a whole can of worms that I want to ask this one question real quick before we get off. We ain't gonna make it longer. But so if you was to meet a man that wants to be with you for the rest of your life, and that was reciprocated from you, you felt the same way, but he wasn't necessarily sold on marriage, but you already know, hey, this man's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there for him. We've dated long enough. Do you have to does he have to put a ring on it, or do y'all have to go get the certificate, this marriage certificate?
You need to be loyal to me.
What'd you say?
Long as he's loyal to you.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. You said it kind of backwards when it comes to me, because maybe I'm not the one that's sold on marriage. It's not always the woman that wants to get married.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say this. Ooh, I'm about to go there. So I have been in a situation before where I was committed to someone, and when I say committed, I mean mentally, emotionally, and they were committed to me, and that conversation of marriage came up, and I told that person, why don't we get married when we like 60? Why don't we wait till then? And he was like, why? Why would we wait? I'm like, why would we rush? Well, like, what's the to me, I honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do want to get married again one day. But I am so good at getting married at 60, 62. So why? Because I see my parents now, they're there for each other. I get it. I get the difference that it makes when it comes to finances and medical, issues and all. I get it. But I don't, right now I'm good. I could be committed to you without that. And oh my God, y'all just don't know on my podcast, I talk about this so much that sometimes I feel like I have to smooth things out and kind of tell people I'm not against marriage, because I know sometimes it can sound like I'm against it. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. But I just feel like I don't need it to be committed. And I don't believe a man needs to be married to me to be committed to me.
Okay.
Man.
I mean, I think if you gotta trust something. You gotta trust something. You gotta have faith, and you gotta have that confidence that I'm the shit. So if you're not giving your all, if you're not all in on this, that's your fault.
So that goes back to what Dre said.
That's your fault. And guess what? Yeah, it's just
That on black.
I don't need that. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't think a lot of men, and Reg, I don't know if you remember this, but you and I talked about this. I don't think a lot of men believe women because not a lot of women say this, but I don't think when a woman says, no, I'm not saying I don't want to get married, but I'm not in a rush to do that. They don't believe. I'm telling y'all the experience I've had. They don't believe me.
I would agree with that. I don't know. What was the original question? Y'all know I've been over here drinking. It was. What was
you had to answer. You had to answer. We was talking about if a man was like, hey, let's just take our time or whatever else. I don't necessarily believe we need a piece of paper to say that we are going to be together forever.
I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't think it's not necessary. I mean, I can't imagine. I've never felt like I want to marry somebody. So I cannot imagine that feeling, and I can't imagine why that would change, like what that would change, other than like now I'm really actually legally stuck with you. So I don't know. Listen,
ladies, I appreciate y'all. This is actually have been a great episode. If Dre don't have nothing, I don't have nothing else. But y'all have this last one. I think when I do find a woman that I entertain and start dating, I think I'm gonna throw that marriage talk in there early to see where she's staying. Like, hey, how you feel about marriage?
You have to.
Early.
You have to. And I'm gonna tell you something else, Reg. Don't be afraid to tell your truth. Like, if you really ain't feeling that, be honest, because the last thing you should do is kind of say what you think she wants to hear, because she might be feeling the same way. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna end on this. If some of us would put down the Facebook and the Instagram and really think about this shit for real, you wouldn't be on that. If you really think about it for real, you would not. You would think about reality. Listen to the people who have been together for years, and then they've been together for 15 years and they get married, and then now all of a sudden they broke up. What? I'm telling you, it's something to that, and it's all mental. It's all mental.
Yeah.
And again, I have to reiterate, I'm not against marriage, but I could get married in 12 years and be good.
Right.
I could get married in 12 years and be good. And I say 12 years because I'm 47.
Okay.
And so it's like, I always say,
you're good looking 47.
Well,
even though I don't even know what that means, because I don't subscribe to that, because I don't put age with numbers.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Looks with numbers. I'm sorry, because people
okay.
I look good to be 55.
Like 60, I'll be retired. I'm good. Well, I could get married then, because then I want me and my person to be, have each other.
Listen, I'm not gonna hold y'all, but I definitely ain't gonna tell y'all how my co-hosts feel about social media, and the relationship for it, just anything social media. I mean, that's a whole nother topic. But Bree, go ahead and plug yourself, sweetheart. Who are
Plug
you?
myself.
Yeah.
Can I tell them what your hobby is, Bree? Or no, you don't want me to do that?
Matter of fact, matter of fact, we gonna let Big Sis plug you. Go ahead.
Because I gotta brag on my sister for a minute. She just does this as a hobby, but that's how we are. Things that we love to do, we all into it. We love to do it. We're not looking to have a light shining on us, like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she's a crafter. She's a crafter. And I know that sounds like a crafter. That sounds like something a 75-year-old white woman would be doing. But that's how traditional we are. We're traditional. We're old fashioned. And she's a crafter. She makes the most beautiful t-shirts, like tablecloth. What she makes everything. She's making products for people, and she does such good work. You would think it came out of a factory. And this is all she got that straight from our mother, who was and is a seamstress. Like, she just does. Y'all should see some of the stuff she does, and she's so good with it. And she says it's not a business. I know it's not a business, but her hobby just is awesome. But that's because she's passionate about it and she puts her all into it.
We're looking for somebody that new to do our unapologetic merch. Bree, we might need to talk.
Yeah, I mean, everything that I have done, it's on my IG, so check it out. Go through.
Oh, how can they find you?
Well, I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Okay. I'm just talking to you, right. You and Dre. But if I must, now my page is private, so I do screen the hell out of people before I allow them to follow me and get all in my mix. But my Instagram is _ BRETAGNE, which is French for Brittany. Most people pronounce it Brittany. It's Brittany. But I post everything there. I have it's like pop-up shop season in Cleveland right now, so I have been like crazy working like clockwork. My true passion is interior decorating, which is not my full-time job. I work for local government, but I'm heavy into crafting and making. I like to call it making shit. People ask me, what you doing? I'm making shit.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. CeeCee.
Yes, you can follow me at ComeandtalktoCeeCee. That's ComeandtalktoCeeCee on Instagram. You know that girl won that spelling bee.
Yes, listen. Yes, go subscribe and listen. She has good content. Dre.
Big dog. Well, first off, thank you two lovely ladies for coming on, man, and giving that potion out, man. Mm-hmm. Giving that, I can't stop fucking smiling, man. Listen, y'all filled me up today, man. Shit, I'm about to sleep good tonight. No,
I'd love to see a black man smile.
Well, seriously, man, because we already talked about it. But anyway, thank y'all so much, man, for giving insight and telling your truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, we unapologetic on the show, and I could tell that y'all not out here selling wolf tickets, and for that, we appreciate it. But as far as I go, you already know, man. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the great state of North Carolina, man. Shout out to my poo-poo that turns 8 tomorrow. I love you very, 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 very much. She hit my pockets a little bit. She's gonna hit my pocket some more, but it's all good. It's all part of it. And shout out to our listeners, man. Like, share, and subscribe, please, if you will. And just understand that we understand over here in Unapologetic that mental health is real. So with that being said, if you have an issue, know myself or Reg or CeeCee or Bree for that matter, no, none of us are subject matter experts or professionals in the mental health field. But if you do need help, I'm pretty sure that all of us will do our damage to point you in the right direction. You can tap in with us on the Unapologetic Podcast page, or you can tap in with me NSG_nomads, and I'll get you the help you need.
Yes, everybody, thank you for tuning in and listening to us. I'd like to give a shout out to all our listeners, and hopefully to the Come and Talk to See listeners too as well. I mean, y'all will come over and listen and listen to some of these keys and jewels that her and Bree dropped this week. We definitely appreciate it, ladies. Thank you for coming, and I definitely enjoyed this episode. I think this is one of them episodes right here. This is a great one. Like, and I cut time short actually because we own like
we could have went on.
Well, yeah. We can keep talking. I mean,
you guys are easy to talk to. I have to thank you for that. Thank you for allowing us to be vulnerable as well.
I have a side note. I'm trying to drag her to Atlanta with me on the 4th of June, and she's like, I got so much to do. But just FYI, we may or may not be near.
If y'all come
how
down,
close are you all to Atlanta?
Listen, we're gonna exchange numbers after this, and remind me soon when we end this, Dre and Bree. I gotta give y'all the quick story of how me and CeeCee met. Anyway,
okay.
I gotta give y'all the story. But yeah, if y'all do come, let us know. Absolutely. That's right up the road. But like I was saying, hey, listen, everybody, thank you for tapping in with us. Thank you for being on us with this ride and listening to us. 38 episodes, and we still going. We appreciate all the love and support. As always, we're unapologetic, we're unfiltered. Tune in next week, and like Dre said, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We out.
You know what it is. Thanks for listening to another episode of Unapologetic, the podcast. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Better follow me.